So here's the next step in file server. We could create a folder assets. And now in main.go, we got a little bit more code. So the dir that I'm passing in, what I want to be the root of my file server, is going to be from wherever I'm at, go into the assets folder. Okay, cool. That's the root of my file server. And then HTTP file server is going to take in, all right, HTTP file server takes in a root file system, which is anything with this right there. And since we're using dir, and dir has that method, right? Dir has that method. Right? So dir has that method, and that makes it a file system. And a file system is wanted for the file server. We want a file system, so we do file server pass in that file system, which is a dir. So we do file server pass in that file system, which is a string converted to a dir, because the dir is nothing but a type whose underlying type is string, so we could convert a string to a dir. Right? So we're just saying, hey, go from root and into assets, and then that's what's going to be served. That's what's going to be served. Right? And if you look here inside assets, I've got Toby. But then I said here in my HTML, you know what? Go find this file at /resources/Toby. What's going on there? So I have this other piece of code. So anything that comes in at resource, handle, what's the route you want to handle? Resources, right? Resources. And everything down the line, so it could be resources/Toby.jpg, right? So that's going to be handled there. So I'm asking for this, and it says, oh, resources/Toby.jpg. Here I handle everything at resources and down the line, so I'll handle Toby.jpg. But I'm gonna call this for a handler, because strip prefix returns a handler. And what strip prefix do? It takes in a string and a handler. So I pass it a string, which is /resources, and I pass it this handler, because that returns a handler, all that stuff, right? All this stuff. Dang it, my mouse is tweako. My mouse is tweako. I need a mouse. Right? All that returns a handler. So what does strip prefix do? It's going to strip off /resources from the request. So it strips off /resources from the request. And then it's going to say, okay, from my file server, right, I have Toby.jpg. So I have .assets /Toby.jpg. So I look in assets / and there's Toby.jpg. And the reason that we need all of this, that strip prefix and everything, is because you're asking for something at this route. You're saying go here and find it at this route. So it goes here and it looks for it at that route. And what it looks for is /resources Toby.jpg at this route. So we got to strip off this first part. So it just looks for Toby.jpg. Or if it was in images, right, it'd be image Toby.jpg. And if this, if that was the case, right, I'd have it in image /Toby.jpg. My mouse is not working. Right, so now it's going to strip off this deal. And it's going to say, hey, I'm serving from from root /assets, and I'm going to look for /assets image /Toby.jpg. So it's a little bit of a piece of chunk of code to wrap your head around. That's about as good as I can explain it. Right? And the main thing you just have to remember is, it's just a kind of almost like an idiosyncrasy of the code. You're asking at a route. And so if you go and you look at what's being served, and you can't look for that inside the assets folder, because this first part's being used to determine what route to go to, and resources folder doesn't exist in there. You're saying serve everything from inside this folder, and so I need to find this inside that. It's just a little bit hard to explain. So let's run it and see this one working. Control C, CD, O2. Go run main. And we have, I want to go to just root, and that's going to serve dog. And this will run. It'll set my header type, and then it's going to write. And it's going to go find this. And it'll say, okay, this is at resources, /image, /toby.jpg. Okay, I handle resources and anything down the line, so I'll handle that. First thing I'm going to do is, from the thing you're looking for, I'm going to strip off resources. And now I'm going to look for /image, /toby.jpg. I'm going to look at it at, that's in effect, that's saying go find this. That's what that's saying in effect. Okay. From here, go into the assets folder, go into the images folder, and give me Toby. Does that make a little bit more sense, the way I just did that one? So let's see what happens. Main / there we go. I needed the / for whatever reason. And it served it up. And if I look at view page source, that's all it is. It's asking for that. So I'm going to take out the image part. And take this out too, because I already have other videos talking about this code, and if that's changed, people will be confused. All right, /dog, resources. Just making sure it's all right. The best way to test it is to run it. We test in production. Sweet, still running. And puppies are so cute.